And the ghost dance is supposed to bring hope to our people, pretty much. So they were out there sun dancing, and Hump, Bigfoot, also known as Hump, wanted to take his people and his band to a safe place. So Red Cloud, the Chief Red Cloud, he's like, come to Pine Ridge Agency. But on the way down to Pine Ridge Agency, they got intercepted by the 7th Cavalry. And the 7th Cavalry, 13 years before, went down by the hands of the Oglalas, the Cheyennes. They went down at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. So whenever they escorted these guys, all these Indians, down into the creek line of Wounded Knee. And down in that creek line, they set up their camp. And then that next morning, the general came to the soldiers, and he was like, you got to get the weapons, you got to take their weapons from them, we're going to transport them to the agency, and we'll take the kids to the schools or whatever. They were going to break it down. And there was one guy, he was deaf. He was deaf. And he didn't know, but he was scared. See, they didn't give him the opportunity to explain to him what they were doing. So he was scared, and whenever they kind of scuffled, that gun shot off. But the cavalry already had 4 Hotchkiss cannons set up on top of that hill. Right over the Wounded Knee Creek, they had 4 of those cannons. So as soon as that gunshot went off, those cannons start going. And then the soldiers just start killing people. And it's really cool. Like my grandma, I mean, it's not cool about that, but my grandma's dad, his name is Henry Weasel. He was born that spring. This happened December 29th, 1890. My grandpa was born 1891 April. But because of the things that he went through with his mom while he was still in his womb, his mom survived the Wounded Knee Massacre. His dad didn't make it. But he said, and he told my grandma in his account, he heard his dad telling his mom in Indian, run, run, just keep running, get as far away as you can, just run. So that's what she did. And then when she fell behind, from the other crew, she and her son, the one he's carrying, they hid in a tree line. And that's how she survived. She took off, but unfortunately, my grandpa wasn't able to make it out of there. So whenever he went back and he told my grandma, I was born at the time of popping leaves, when leaves are ready to blossom. So he knew what was happening in that Wounded Knee Massacre. It was so dramatic. He can hear it in his mom.
Man.
And he can feel his mom. I thought that was pretty amazing whenever she told me that. So what they did, they with the Hotchkiss guns, they started killing all these Indians. And wherever they fell, they laid there. They stayed there for, I would say, almost up to a week before the 7th Cavalry came through. And then they just dug this big trench for them and threw them in there. Like nothing, like we were trash. But there was, out of that whole Wounded Knee Massacre, there was only 24 people that survived that whole thing. Your grandma survived.
They were like shooting girls in the back and everything.
They found one lady with a baby, and the baby was still alive, nursing off of his mom, but she was dead.
The total number, they said about 300. What was the official? Did anybody ever know what really they?
That's right.
Was it more than 300?
Those numbers are never, the official numbers are never the numbers.
Yeah, I know it had to be.